Syndicated. Listen on the World Wide Web, Atlanta Mix Radio, Spreaker, YouTube, live stream, Facebook Live, SoundCloud, and Blog Talk Radio. Tune in locally on 1420 AM, Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., and Wednesdays from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. The call-in number is 470-231-1714 or 47231-1225. We are WAMR-DB, the woman station, the new look and feel of AM radio.
I just started college in Chicago. I was so fun and carefree and feisty. I felt like I was invincible and ready to take over the world. I was fearless. And then I met him. He was so handsome and charming. Our first date was a walk in the park. I remember he pointed out that I had a booger in my nose and I was super embarrassed. He asked me to be his girlfriend a few months later, and of course, yes. And that's when things changed. I slowly stopped hanging out with my friends. It was always just me and him. It went as far as him creating a rift and ruining the trust between my best friend and I. Me and her didn't speak for almost 2 years. He would get upset at me and he would break my cell phone so I couldn't talk to anyone. He was convinced that I was cheating on him. He would get upset at me for saying hi to my guy friends on the street, but that should have been a sign right there. He was emotionally abusive and he made me feel like every decision I made was wrong. I felt that nothing I did could make him happy. The first time he hit me, I was convinced that it was my fault and that my attitude made him upset. And maybe if I didn't talk back, things would get better between us. The moment I knew that I had to get out of the relationship was when he knocked me down and I fell and I hit my head. It wasn't the first time he hit me, but it was the first time I felt really scared. I called my best friend and I finally told her the truth. And she said she was coming to get me and I was staying with her in the suburbs. While I was packing, he came home early and was livid when he saw that I was leaving. I didn't realize the situation got out of hand until he pulled a kitchen knife on me. He told me, if you leave me, you're gonna kill me, so you may as well kill me now. And only then did my brain register danger. My best friend came at the nick of time. She called the cops, and that's when he slit his wrists. The cops came and took him to the hospital. I felt so guilty. I was an empty shell of myself. I was apologizing for my very existence. I had no voice. I had no identity. I was seeking approval from everyone except myself. Much to my regret, I did end up going back to him a few months later. We were off and on again. It was a tug of war between my loneliness and depression and vulnerability. I was trying to find peace with myself, and I wanted to forgive him so I wasn't carrying the hatred that I felt for him. I found myself in an all too familiar situation when I felt that he was trying to knock me down to size again. And things with us weren't truly done until about another 1.5 years later, when he moved to a different state. I always thought, how could this happen to someone like me? I was a good girl. I wasn't raised in a household with domestic abuse. All of my friends had normal relationships. What was wrong with me? Why did he feel he had to hit me? Once he was gone for good, I rediscovered the things that made me happy again. I threw myself into my career. I had new friends and love interests. I had a therapist who I saw once a week, and she helped me build myself back together again. If you're going through this, I want you to know to pay attention to the signs. It's hard because your emotions are clouded and you're in love, but love is supposed to make you feel good. It should always lift you up. Listen to your friends, they care. Don't forget that you are still a good person because you deserve all the happiness in the world, and you're worth it.
All right, you ladies and you gentlemen. I wanted to make sure we formally and respectfully introduce this woman that is braving the 2-hour commute down there in Miami, Florida. Ah, man, Miss Shonda Roberts. Thank your husband for being patient with us. But he knows women start things all messed up anyway, don't we? You tell him I said we sorry. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So tell Mr. Roberts, here in Atlanta, we say thank you, sir. No, tell him now. Don't be saying you will. Oh, okay. Just putting all the business out there. Okay, so, right. All right, so that's what happened. So listen. Yeah, man. Oh, but no. I mean, everybody in Atlanta know your husband in the shower now. But go ahead. So I don't know. So we're celebrating 1-year anniversary, and as you can tell on our website, domestic violence is a key, dear advocate part of our existence. As I shared with you yesterday, I had been a victim of domestic violence from childhood, and then I even let it come into adulthood until I just said, you know what? Let me try to run this person over with my G. All right? Yeah, well, I said, oops, I missed you. Hit me in my eye and close it up, and I got to tell people I got into a car accident. So listen, so we all, ladies and gentlemen, we have Pain to Purpose. We have the founder, Miss Shonda Roberts, who is a survivor and an advocate and / all the above. Miss Shonda, please let everybody know where you are at. Like where you live at. Not where you live at, because I don't want you giving your address out. But tell us about Pain to Purpose, and thank you for coming aboard and talking to our listening audience about this disease that it's a twofold situation. So go ahead.
In Miami, Florida, Homestead, Florida. I was born in Freeport, Bahamas. My mom is Jamaican. She was born in Kingston. And she met my dad, who I found out later on abused her. I didn't even know. Well, I don't remember. I guess I was too young to know that was happening. But we moved here when I was 3, so I was raised in Miami. Pain to Purpose came about because I am a survivor. My abuse started at the young age of 15. I met a guy who was older than me and who treated me like, I guess, a princess or queen wanted to be treated. And everything was good and dandy until the first time he hit me. And that lasted up till 9 years later. I ended up marrying him at 19, and I didn't find my strength and the strength to leave him until 22, 23 years of age. Someone asked me a couple of years ago, 2015, to speak at a college during Women's Heritage Month about domestic violence, which I did. And that was the first time that I had ever spoken about the situation in public. In such to me, it was a big forum. It wasn't a lot of people there, but to me it was. And I felt so embarrassed, and I kind of felt stripped and naked, because you have people looking at you and you're not sure if they're looking at you because they think you are a survivor, or they're happy you're a survivor, or they feel that you're stupid. It's not an easy thing to talk about. But over the years, and with me starting Pain to Purpose, that feeling of embarrassment has gone away. After I talked to that group of people, I started to feel like I wanted to help someone, because when I was in my situation, I didn't see billboards and articles and women saying, hey, you don't have to be in the situation, you can leave. You're just strong, you're victorious, you're a fighter, you can do this. I didn't have that. Not only I didn't have that, I didn't really tell me what was going on either. Unless you saw and you knew us closely, you didn't know what was going on in our relationship, because he only beat me in my head. he wouldn't beat me on my face. Because he wanted to walk around him and stuff. And he wanted people to know, because everyone thought he was a great guy. And so when I met with that group and I decided that I wanted to do more, I decided to just collect some purses and go to the shelter and stuff them with hygiene products and take them to the moms. Because I know during Christmas time, kids always get toys and toys for tots at the shelters and stuff like that. And I always wonder, who's paying attention to the mothers and, just giving them a little pat on the back for leaving that situation. Yes, it may not be great where you are right now, but you took the first step to protecting yourself and protecting your child. And they should be commended for that. And that's how it started. I never just wanted to do a nonprofit because I always thought it was too much work. I had time for that. I'm like, Lord, I ain't doing that. Let's just take these purses over here and call it a day. But I had other plans. And that continued on from one shelter to the next. And then from the other shelter to the next. Because when you sit, because we didn't just drop the purses off, we made a schedule that we could meet with them. And we sat and we talked with them. And how we open up conversations, I have little index cards, and I write those words on there as leader and fighter, overcomer. You're incredible. You're awesome. I feel encouraged. I put those words on an index card. We put them on the table. And as the women come in, I ask them to pick a word they feel best describes them. So they don't know why, because a lot of times we don't show the purpose. So they come in, they get the word that they picked up, and we'll ask them, I'll share my story first, and I'll tell them who I am and whoever's with me at the time. We have another survivor on our team. Her name is Kim. So either one of us will tell our story. And then I'll ask them, okay, so and so, why did you pick the word that you picked? And they start talking. And when they start talking and you start hearing their stories and the situations that they've been in, it sometimes makes my story seem like so minute and wasn't as serious as what they went through. But they survived, and they're still surviving. And when they finish, we all go around the room and they finish telling their story, they will get the purse that matches that name, because we will put the name on the index card on the purse as well. So they will get the purse that matches that name, and they're always so excited. They're always crying. We're always crying, and we're singing. I sing as well. And so that's how that started. And what we also do is reach out to teens. We had our first first Love Is Not Abuse Teen Summit, and we had almost 90 kids and parents come out. And what we talked about was teen dating violence. We talked about bullying. We talked about self-esteem and suicide and depression. And I had speakers, and I had therapists, and I had a family therapist. She spoke to the parents on how to identify the signs of what your kids may be going through and how to deal with them and how to get them help. Because, it's taboo for the Black culture to go and get therapy. There's nothing wrong with therapy. There's nothing wrong with saying, I need help. There's something wrong. I don't feel right. I'm having these thoughts. And if we don't tell our kids that it's okay to ask for help, they'll never know what's going on. And my suicide rate is going up and depression is going up. I tried to commit suicide at I was 17, 18. I was on a 72-hour hold. And I took a bottle of pills because I was dealing with a man who was beating on me, and I didn't know why. And I couldn't understand why he was beating on me. And I felt if I leave this world, he couldn't put his hands on me anymore. And I took a bottle of pills, and I got my stomach pumped. Had a charcoal mix down the tube. And the last thing I can remember was him coming in there and being upset with me that I had the nerve to try to kill myself. So instead of him being sympathetic, that maybe he was the reason for this, he was more upset that I had the nerve to do it. And I don't ever want another child to feel so down and so low to where they feel the best resolution is for them to leave this world. So that's another part of our organization when we reach out to the kids, and I go speak at summer camps. I go speak at, I haven't been to the schools yet, but that's our plan for next year. I've gone to different organizations, different mentoring organizations. I have a couple that I'm going to next year. I have a juvenile detention center I'm going to sometime next week. So I really want to reach out to the kids and also the ones who may be doing the abusing. People weren't born to abuse.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like at a loss right now because the 3 questions you told me to ask you, you already answered. So what else to ask you now? I was like, how did your organization come about? Okay, you done told us that. What services do you provide? You done told us that. What do you want people to know about domestic violence victims and survivors? You done told us that. What else are we supposed to talk about? You done wrapped this up already. Time to go, y'all. Lord have mercy. Everybody on Facebook just then, ain't nobody, man. Everybody like, okay. Okay, we know you getting it, girl. Hold on for a second. Can we ask a question? Okay. Good Lord. Father God, help her, Lord. Help her. So, but you're located down in near Miami as far as the demographics. So your outreach is for the entire Dade County area, or is this a national movement for you? Are you trying to indicate actually creating extra chapters across the country so that this pain and purpose can come together? What are we looking at here, as far as? Because see, you only one person. Right. Mm. I think people normally, I know in my case, there was a level of shame, and there was a level of anger, and then I just got mad, and the next thing you know, you fight back, and a lot of times some of the victims turn around and fight back and kill the person. So what happens in that case when the person does fight back? I think we talked about that. What happens if they fight back? Because that's what happened to you. You fought back, and this girl. Yeah, go ahead.
And prayerfully, your breaking point won't be at the end of at the other end of a barrel, or a knife holding a knife. And
or driving a Jeep and hitting them with the door, bam, flew up in the air.
To hit me, and I had a knife ready because I knew he was coming, because he was telling me to get my stuff and leave. And I know getting my stuff and leave was not going to be that simple. So as I'm coming down the elevator, when he went down the stairs, I said, let me just get a knife just in case. And just so happened the elevator opened, he came charging towards me, and I stabbed him. And we both went to jail. And what made it so bad is that we had to ride in the backseat of the car together to the jail. We had to sit across each other and fingerprint tape at the jail. And then he went to what they call WAMR-DB to get checked out for the stab wound. And then in court the next day, they let him out on pre-trial. And I had to get bonded out by him. And so I felt like it was so unfair. Like, this is not right. I have reports of him kidnapping me and beating on me. But they were like, man, he didn't hit you this time. So was he going to kill me before I could hit him back? Or I have to actually get hit before I hit him back? And those are things that a lot of things we need to address within the court, within our legal system, because women should have, or victims should have, more rights. There was a case yesterday I read about this lady who called the police. She had a stay away order, The guy went to jail, and he had a $2,000 bond, which he paid $200 to get out. And he went right back to her. She called the police again and begged the police, can you please arrest him? If you don't, he's going to kill me. And the next day, he killed her. He went to her job, shot her in the head, execution style. Now, what did she do wrong? Nothing. She did everything right. She called the police. She got a stay-away order. When he abused her, she didn't want to be with him anymore. She did everything right. And I feel that she was failed by the justice system. Why didn't anyone let her know he was out? Why was his bond only $200 to get out? He had other cases or other charges of domestic violence. I feel if an abuser or offender has other cases of the same crime, domestic violence or whatever the case is.
A repeated offender. We're talking about a repeated offender, somebody that has a constant abuse and domestic violence. How much is enough? And this is why I want to share with you is I was so interested in talking with you because this has really become an epidemic during President 45's reign for some reason. Guys are out here trying to punch and beat on women. But see, let me tell you what Medea said. You got to get a peace, right? Peace be still. Smith & Wesson or some hot grits. You know what I'm saying? They got to sleep. I'm serious. And I mean, I'm real serious because the person that hit me and the person that used to beat on me, my mom, and my sister, we shot at his ass for real. And he didn't come back. You understand?
With whatever they're going to do at nighttime while he's sleeping, they'll go to jail because he's not actually abusing them at the moment.
This might not sound right, but this is what you got to do. You got to take the door and hit yourself in the head with the door. Right? Just like no. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, take something and hit yourself and say that was the last lick. And that was it. You know what I'm saying? But look, y'all, we're sitting here talking very seriously to Miss Shanda Roberts. We're going to take a quick break, play a little commercial, and then we're going to get back. Shanda, you got a minute for us still? All right, we'll be right back.
Women around the world use sanitary napkins and tampons every day, knowing little to nothing about the harmful and potentially dangerous materials used to manufacture them. Because of this, millions of women are forced to suffer in silence. In the United States, the Food and Drug Administration does not require companies to list the ingredients contained in sanitary napkins and tampons. Yet the average woman uses more than 15,000 sanitary napkins or uses tampons for more than 100,000 hours over her lifetime.
You really don't know what's in it. I mean, I don't think any of us really know, especially, some of the new pads that maybe have a spongy type texture that's supposed to hold more. Well, what exactly is that? What's that made out of? We don't know. So then there's questions of how does that affect our health? With things coming out that, baby powder and talc are dangerous and cause ovarian cancer, what other things are we exposing our very sensitive areas to that could end up being a problem later on?
Internationally, it's even worse. A recent report from UNICEF and the World Health Organization cites that at least 500 million girls and women globally lack adequate facilities for managing their periods. In most schools, girls have to trek to the nurse's office to ask for a pad or tampon, as if menstruating is an illness rather than a natural function. In some parts of the world, girls simply drop out of school once they start menstruating. The manufacturing process of these menstrual aids has been known to cause serious damage to the environment, The toxic byproducts of producing tampons include poisons like dioxin and furan. In fact, conventional sanitary pads can contain the equivalent of about 4 plastic bags. Synthetics and plastic restrict airflow and trap heat and dampness, potentially promoting yeast and bacteria growth in a woman's vaginal area. Conventional sanitary pads can also contain other potentially hazardous ingredients, such as odor neutralizers and fragrances. How do tampons and pads get that ultra-white clean look? Usually chlorine bleach, which can also create toxic dioxin and other disinfection byproducts. According to an EPA draft report, dioxin is a serious public health threat that has no safe level of exposure. To make matters worse, tampons create a favorable environment for bacterial growth.
Certainly there's a lot of plastic involved with pads and the issues with tampons and the history. You have to be careful with toxic shock syndrome and stuff just because of what it's made out of is kind of a nidus of bacteria that's not so good for patients.
Micro tears in the vaginal wall from tampons allow bacteria to accumulate when left too long. One infamous risk is toxic shock syndrome, or TSS, caused by poisonous toxins from bacteria. TSS is a life-threatening condition that affects women under 30 most. While any woman using tampons can get TSS, over 60% of TSS fatalities happen in women ages 15 to 24. For too long, these facts have been conveniently swept under the rug, while hundreds of millions of women suffer with no alternatives. Until now. Introducing Cherish Premium Sanitary Napkins by Inspire. Cherish pads have been designed by women for women.
All right, you guys, welcome back. Now, we are talking with Miss Shanda Roberts out of Miami-Dade, Florida, Pain the Purpose. Now, that was a commercial about how they just messing up the vajayjay. I mean, they jacking us up. We first be getting our ass whooped out here. Then they making us sit on trash. Then they sitting here touching on us and all sorts of shit. You know what? The woman station, I don't care what y'all say. Y'all should like this shit right here. I mean, excuse my French. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And the GM in there too. He probably been hit the plug. Turn off. That's enough right there. JJ, let's turn her off. Play something else, JJ. He a big old tall dude, about 6'7", girl. Well, I finally got a melody. I can't tell you the truth about it. But anyway, so we back and we listening to Shanda Roberts with Pain the Purpose. Shanda, you have been doing a wonderful job. My question is, how long have you been doing this endeavor down here in the Miami area? How many years have you started involved in this?
Really modest. It was just calm thing. It wasn't no big deal. I felt it wasn't a big deal, and we reached out to a lot of our social media connections regarding donations and for purses. We had a really big response. So it started 2015, and from then to now, we've given out over 300 purses. So we've met over 300 women in the shelters.
Do you really think that it's actually become an epidemic down there? Are there more? Is there a way that you've been measuring that the shelters are more fuller now than they ever have been this year? Have you seen a climb in violence? Okay, that's something we need to research. Now, the one thing that I wanted to share with you, everybody, if you go to her Facebook page, it is very shocking. It's a lady that has actual look like cuts on her face and her chest that's been split open. Her face, her chest. This, I mean, just totally, just somebody just messed her up, and that was like, I'm like, who, what? Okay, and I'm like, okay. So at that stage, I'm pissed. I'm like, I need to get whoever this is, whoever got this site, I need to get them on the show because I need to find out. We need to do some Amazon Wonder Woman stuff. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm serious. We need to get like all these special forces women that's coming out the army. Get a fund for a defense fund. I ain't talking about legal defense, a real defense fund, and go and kick somebody's tail and find out how you feel. One thing I noticed, most guys that are whipping on women like that, they are chickens. They do not go toe to cowards. That's it. They're cowards. And it's just amazing that they, are little cowards like that. If we went on the radio, I would say what I told you last night. So I know. My mom would be like, "Did you? I heard you cussed on the radio again." So I know, right? My mama gonna get me, and it's really important. But I'm saying, but basically, so we know that there's been an increase in the season. So do you notice the same people rotating back in and out of those facilities? Are there people that don't get it and they're back in the shelter again, and they kind of like in a cycle that won't be broken no matter how much counseling and how much work you guys do? Have you met people like that no matter what you do for them, they come in and they rotate? You see the same ladies. I'm not saying say their name, but do you often see that?
Well, there's one shelter that I think I've chopped it down to maybe I'm visiting it too much, because I went maybe a couple of times and I saw maybe 3 of the same women. So I had to ask. I was like, okay, last time I came, the time before that you were here, what's going on? By this time, we sisters now, we talking like that.
Right.
And so, they're like, well, I had to leave. I thought I had somewhere to go. One was that she thought she had somewhere to go. And she ended up back with her abuser because she had nowhere to go when she left there. And again, it happens. Her and the kids had to come back. That was only one. But the other 2, they were only there because their time extended. So, like I said, they have 6 weeks to be there, which I think is a very short time to get your life back on track. But they have 6 weeks to be there. However, they don't put them out under 6 weeks. So this is one particular lady. She just had to keep getting hers extended because she had to find work and get a car and find somewhere to live, so on and so forth. So I would say only those couple of women I saw, but I haven't seen any others like that. I did see some graduate, meaning going from the shelter to the transition home. And the transition homes down here, they give them 2 years to live there. And during those 2 years, they have to save money, and have a plan to move forward, which I think that's great.
So on some of the things that we can do to help support you, what are some of the things that the listening audience can do to help support what you're doing down there? I mean, what items, what things do you really, really, truly need?
Said we take purses, and we would love to take every woman a brand new purse, but due to, of course, financially we cannot. But we take slightly used purses. I mean, purses that you still want to use it, but you don't mind giving it away. Not nothing you just tired of dragging around and you don't want to use it anymore. So slightly used purses or brand new purses. I mean bags, not so much as small purses or clutches, because we actually stuff the purses. It takes us maybe like $15, $20 of stuff for one purse, $25 of stuff for one purse. We always need cash donations because whatever we have left over once we stuff.
What do you stuff it with?
With hygiene products. There's lotion, body spray, deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste, makeup, hairbrush, sunglasses, lip gloss, chewing gum. I mean, whatever we could put in the women's purses. We put pads in the purses. just whatever a woman will put in her purse as far as to take care of herself.
Okay, we're gonna ship a whole case of Cherish pads down there. So yeah, I'm just gonna charge it to my sister's account. In let her look up and be like, what? For real.
The number 2 Purpose 76. Our social media, we are paying the number 2 Purpose 76 all across the board. Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Our website is paying2purpose76.org. So it's all the same. So they can always donate whenever they can. We don't have a specific time to donate because we're always going to the shelters. It's a constant thing that we do.
This is an ever-ending ministry. I noticed that you guys had some events. I guess from your church or various conferences. You just had a conference last month, right? It was October. Oh, Lord. Okay.
Something we had in October. But what we had the previous year was called #Exit Plan. And that is something we decided we're going to do every year. And what it is, just a workshop on how to actually leave. And what do you need when you leave? What should you pack? What should you not take? What should you plan on taking with you, or what you're going to do once you leave? We have all of those inside a packet, and we have a workshop, and we actually sit down and we talk about it. Because when I was leaving, I had to have a plan, because me trying to leave him just walking out the door wasn't going to work. That caused a fight. That caused him beating on me in the car.